tomorrow with some of these key agenda items that the government is pushing. The headline on that story, Test for Labor as PM eyes victory. It says Scott Morrison is close to securing a major victory for his social and welfare reform agenda, including the expansion of the cashless welfare card and drug tests for welfare recipients, with both bills likely to be passed after Jacqui Lambie confirmed her support. The surprise move by the Tasmanian independent senator ahead of Parliament's return today has isolated Labor leader Anthony Albanese, who is facing divisions within the caucus over his decision to enforce a no vote on both bills. Evan Mulholland, what did you make of Jacqui Lambie's decision to support these initiatives from the government, and also the fact that the government looks like it's going to wipe that historic debt in Tasmania in return for Jacqui Lambie's support?
Yeah, she seems to be emerging as a real kingmaker or queenmaker in this in the Senate. I don't like the precedent of wiping debt for one particular state. I think the social housing debt all up is $2 or $3 billion around the country. It would be a bad precedent to just wipe one and not wipe them all consistently. I think on the policy matter, the cashless welfare card in principle I'm against, but I think people should be able to spend their own money. But due to the success of some of the trials, I'm certainly having another look. I'd prefer less of a top-down approach, more sort of community involvement where they can sign up to these. On the drug testing for welfare recipients, I think this sets a really bad precedent. It goes against sort of any sort of Liberal government philosophy, and if this is the policy we're putting our hat on, I don't think it's a good move for the Liberal Party.
Well, that's a very interesting point that you make. Caleb Bond, Jacqui Lambie came out today and said that if we were going to drug test welfare recipients, we should drug test everyone who's on the public purse. That would include public servants and politicians. What do you think of that idea?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily be opposed to drug testing politicians, and perhaps breath testing them as well. The results may be interesting. I suppose as a journalist I shouldn't say that, because many journalists would never be let back into the newsroom ever again if they had to be breath tested in order to go to work. But I think Jacqui Lambie for a long time was taken for a fool by a lot of people, which she is not, which is why she won at the last election again. She's a very effective advocate for Tasmania, even if the things she achieves, like having the debt wiped, many people broadly would say, you know, it doesn't quite wash. But she's a very good advocate for Tasmania, and she is wheeling and dealing to support her state on what are pretty sensible policies. So I think we're going to have to watch Jacqui Lambie over the next 6 years, because I don't think this is the last time we're going to watch her be the queenmaker, as Evan puts it, because she's much smarter than a lot of people ever thought she was, and can do a hell of a lot for Tasmania, and God knows Tasmania needs a bit of advocacy.
Yeah, that's certainly the case. I think you're 100% right about Jacqui Lambie, and I think second time around she's a far smarter politician than she was during her first stint in the Senate. She certainly wields plenty of power, and looks like she knows how to wield it these days as well.